What is going on, you guys? It is another episode of the Sci-Fi Zone where the multiverse meets a seventh inning stretch. It's your boys Trent and CJ, and today's destination is the Boys Universe. We're going to be breaking down episode 7 of season 5. This was a crazy one, but if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. And don't forget to check out our shorts content as it has our videos' best and funniest moments. But let's get into this episode, the last one before the finale. And my gosh, we've been saying this the whole season on how this show just takes the current stakes and blows them out of the water. And that's definitely what this episode did. But I'm not gonna lie, kind of in a bit of a frustrating way at times.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some very great stuff in this episode, some of my favorite scenes of the series, but there are also some very frustrating scenes as well, some of my least favorite things and some of my least favorite dialogue of the season. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. It's the second to last episode of this entire series, so these next couple weeks are going to be very, very intense.
Yeah, bro, like the stuff that they did with psychics this episode was also really interesting. I feel like they only really dived into that stuff in Gen V, which we'll also talk about Gen V. So this episode opens with Oh Father, played by Daveed Diggs, of course, who's definitely showing off his real life theater talent with this musical number written for Homelander's introduction to the world as God Emperor Homelander. But it's just insane how blasphemous this whole thing is relative to actual Christianity, with the angels looking like Victoria's Secret angels, the mockery of Jesus and his abilities, capabilities. It's all bad.
Yeah, this is cool to see him get to show off his musical chops. And yeah, this was very blasphemous. It was basically just a diss track to God in a way. Very interesting lines in here comparing like Homelander is bigger than Jesus. They were really going in on him. And you know that he was listening because he can hear everything.
Yeah, dude. And what's crazy is how easily Oh Father's flipped into believing Homelander is God, because for the first half of the season, I thought he was just going along with it for self-preservation. Maybe he still is. I don't know. Maybe he's a really good actor, but I'm 99% sure he's actually like fully on board now.
Yeah, like when he says things like Homelander is a true god, and like it really feels like he believes what he says. Like it doesn't seem like he's fighting for his life. It feels like something that he truly believes at this point.
Yeah, and the whole argument behind like, oh, he's right in front of your eyes, where's Jesus? Well, dude, any other person can walk in front of you and say, oh, I'm the next coming of God. Anyone can do that. That should not be like, oh, yeah, this is why he's different.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, see, you can actually see me. You can't see Jesus. Like, no, that doesn't make you God, man. That's not how that works.
Yeah, dude. And with Homelander, the one who's thinking he's God, you got to be 100% believer. You can't be 99. You got to be 100, which takes us to the president, because the very next scene in this episode after the musical number is Homelander sitting in the president's chair inside the Oval Office. And I was relieved to see him here this early in the episode, because people were theorizing that this could be the final shot in the entire show, which would have been such a dark ending in my opinion. So getting it here now works a lot better for the story in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm glad that this wasn't the final shot of the series. That would have been a hard pill to swallow. But yeah, it was cool to see him here. Sort of a comic book reference with him sitting at the Oval Office with his feet kicked up on the table. That was pretty cool. But yeah, this is one of the most consequential scenes probably of the entire series.
Yeah, and on top of killing the president, he wants to enable some insane laws, such as making his religion the national one of America, which shows the depths of his intelligence, by the way, because he's saying America instead of the United States of America, unless he's going to force South America to follow his religion too, which good luck with that one.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, knowing Homelander, I'm sure the United States of America is just step one to like taking over the entire world.
Yeah, of course. And he also wants to ban abortion. He wants to make breastfeeding mandatory. And to do that, he's going to ban alternative milk products, period. Oh yeah, and just one more. Let's just disband Congress. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, just disregard of the Constitution. That's totally cool. We love that over here.
Dude, he's so uneducated, man. Like, obviously, the president can't just walk in and say, hey, guys, I know this institution has existed as a pillar of our government for 237 years. But Homelander says the show's over. Time to pack up. Go home. It's cool. No more Congress.
Yeah, and as someone who isn't even like officially a part of the government, he's just a really strong guy that people are scared of. He shouldn't have this type of power.
Nope. And when the president says basically what I just said. He has Back Ashley mind read the president, and Back Ashley fucking snitches on the president, so the president gets promoted to particles.
Yeah, yeah, he goes from one body to two bodies.
Yep. So Homelander officially has off the president, and what's weird is, unless my eyes were closed, we did not see the general public's reaction to the president being killed, which that means they're keeping it a secret. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how long you're going to be able to keep that a secret, especially considering how much like paparazzi and how much media is covered with the White House. Like maybe a couple days they'll be able to keep this going, but not for long at all. I will say, shout out to Ashley from where she was at in season 1 of this show to being like an assistant at Vought to now being the president of the United States and the first woman president of the United States. Like, good for her, man. She's came a long way.
Yep, and she definitely said it best. Like, "Hey, I've survived. That's something."
That's at the end of the day in the boys universe. That's a win. If you're still breathing, then you're a win.
Yeah, except for the Deep, he doesn't count.
That's true. Yeah, he's never won anything.
No, but obviously, since Ashley is obviously a Vought sleeper agent, she's definitely going to keep the secret for a while. And speaking of secrets, our Gen V crew has definitely felt like a well-kept secret this whole season until we finally got to see Marie and Jordan involved in the plot this season. Wow, this scene was so frustrating to watch, and that sucks because I was so happy to finally see them.
Yeah, I was super excited seeing them on screen. It was a relief knowing that they didn't completely forget about Gen V and they're going to be in this at least to some extent. But just playing down Marie's abilities. He's like, "I heard you like the chosen one or something, right? You were supposed to like stand up to Homelander or some shit. That's cool." And then the first thing that Marie says, she nursed herself. Like, you saved your sister's life. You revived your sister back from the dead. What are you talking about? He needs you right now. What are we doing?
What's going on?
Like, the feats that she has in this show are way greater than most of the other characters.
Yeah, dude. And I just felt like Marie was taking the words right out of my mouth when Starlight told her to go home. Like, did the writers not think the majority of viewership was going to side with Marie here and be on Starlight's side of telling Marie to just essentially fuck off after they gave her the info to O-Father? Like, what do you mean she can't control her powers, Starlight? The entire plot line of Gen V as a TV show is Marie accepting her powers, the circumstances that gave her her powers, and what she can do with them. Literally, season 2 was nothing but her practicing. We're talking about practice.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
Not a game, not the game you go out there and die for, right? Play every weekend like it's your last, right? No, we talking about practice, man.
And don't even get me started on MM's line. Like you said, I heard you're the chosen one and have Homelander level strength or something. Like, if that really was the case, MM, which it is, by the way, why the hell have you not tried to get her help at all this entire season? I felt rage baited as a viewer by the show throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, me too, man. It was frustrating for sure. Like, once they finally do ask for Marie and Jordan's help, all they get from them is like spy intel. They don't actually do anything physical. They're not fighting. They're just getting information. Although we did get an Emma reference, so that's cool. She was the one that got the info. Shout out her. But Annie to be the one saying like, "Marie, you can't control your powers." Like, Annie got crushed by O-Father like a couple episodes ago. She hasn't really won a fight in this season yet, so I don't know why she's talking right now. Like, Marie can stand up to anyone that Annie was defeated by.
Yeah, and let's just say someone does have more like outright brute strength than Marie. She can just give them a heart attack.
Yeah, just take the blood out of their body. That's literally all you gotta do. It feels like they were like, "Oh, people watch Gen V, so we have to have the characters in Gen V." But there were also a lot of people who watched The Boys and didn't watch Gen V, so we can't make them too crucial to the plot. So it was like this weird balancing act of including them, but not letting them have as big of a role as they should have in this show.
Yeah, and also, how cool would it be if you wrote the character so awesomely that the viewership was like, "Oh, you know what? I should go watch Gen V so I can actually understand all this."
Yeah, exactly. It's a way to get people more interested in the characters. But I guess just have them in for 2 minutes and then cancel season 3.
Yeah. Also, they're not even going to make a joke about Marie Moreau and MM's name. Like, there's a whole lot of M's and none of which are mentioned. Like, that's such a lame miss from the writers.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you put them together, they're quadruple M, and they're basically like Professor X and Magneto Onslaught, but just with blood instead.
Blood and brawn.
Yup. Oh, that would be a good spin-off show. That sounds kind of sick.
Yeah. Let us cook, guys. Come on. But at the same time, we catch up with the boys back at HQ, and I genuinely have no idea why Homelander didn't come here first after getting the V1, because didn't Legend bring him here in the last episode saying, hey, this is their hideout, and he found Sage's Taco Bell receipt. And in this episode, Homelander asks, oh, Father, hey, I need you to locate Sage. Bro, you had the answer right in front of you.
Yeah, he had her location. He went to where they were, got the V1, and then I guess just dipped, just left. Didn't really look for the boys, even though they were just a couple yards away in the bushes. Like, the ending of last episode and the beginning of this episode felt very disconnected.
Yeah, it's just, oh yeah, he's in the White House.
Yeah.
But the boys are trying to give Kimiko Soldier Boy's powers by blasting her with radiation, because apparently Soldier Boy actually acquired this power over time during his 40 years in Russia after they were testing on him. It wasn't part of his original power set, which kind of feels like a retcon, low-key, but it's fine because they said it came from the research that they found. Plus, I am down to see Kimiko blast some fools, so that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. And I'm glad that Kimiko mentions that it's her call, her idea. There's no way Frenchie would be putting Kimiko through this if Kimiko hadn't said that she was okay with it, or if she hadn't made the call.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Sage could definitely be helping along, but she's too busy sulking in the fact that she got something wrong. So she's basically allowing Kimiko to risk herself dying from this radiation because she'd rather just be sad and not risk being wrong again.
Yeah, Sage's writing in the last 2 episodes has been very, very frustrating and very different from the first 5 of this season. I mean, she helped Homelander with her intelligence, and like she has the means that he doesn't. Like, he is nowhere near as smart as she is, and she was helping him out a lot. And then as soon as she goes to the boys, her first plan fails. She has no backup. And then she spends the next episode just like stabbing herself in the eye and watching Love Island. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, dude. And it has to take Kimiko seizing up and Frenchie begging her to finally get involved.
Yeah, like, we need you to lock in, Sage, please.
Yeah. And we also got another Spice Girls pep talk from Butcher. Although, in my opinion, this one didn't hit like the first one for me, though.
Yeah, not exactly. But I mean, it was nice seeing them talking about the Spice Girls again. Does that go back to season 1? Is that where the first, like, that's been a through line for a long time, dude. That's pretty cool.
Hey, dude, that line came before they even found Kimiko.
It's false. No way. Not this time.
Oh wait, no, they were looking for Kimiko, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going to try not to complain too much in this episode, but there was one more frustrating line when MM and Annie get back to the hideout and they give the notebook to Butcher, the one that Gen V had gotten for them. Butcher says something along the lines of, oh, what did the JV League cook up? It just feels like they're just playing in our faces now, the people who watch Gen V. It's like, it's really unfortunate, man.
Yeah, dude, like, I teared up at times watching that show. Like, I got invested, so it's just frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
But the plan is we're going to kidnap O'Father and get information from him about Homelander. So, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good, Butcher. And at the same time, we catch up with Homelander. He's back at Vought Tower, and we see the Deep. And as they predicted, Noir's death is indeed just brushed right under the rug. Very unfortunate.
It was literally just the Deep saying, oh, Noir was the non-believer, so I killed him for you. And Homelander's like, okay, cool. Yeah, really very unconsequential death. Just really tough.
Yep. But at least there is somewhat of a consequence for Deep this episode, because Homelander does announce that he is disbanding the Seven, which is taking away the one thing that made the Deep important in the first place, basically. So, hey, you know what? Homelander, I don't do this a lot, but thank you for doing that, because Deep deserves something resembling consequences.
Yeah, I'm behind Homelander on this decision for the first time in a long time. I'm backing Homelander. I am kind of surprised that the Deep has survived this long into the show, but it has been satisfying to watch everything that he loves slowly ripped away from him. Like, he really doesn't have anything now. He doesn't have the Seven. That's all he had left. He killed his bro, and he doesn't have the fish anymore because he killed 1.2 billion fish, and so he has nothing left.
Yeah, which leads to him drinking in his sorrows and littering in the water, which leads to Sharkyul L. Jackson,
I'm still alive, motherfucker!
telling the Deep, hey, you know what? We know what you did. You should come pick up this litter. But if you do, we'll definitely try to kill you too. So Now the Deep literally can't even go in the water.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go, man. It's satisfying to see.
Yep. And this actually leads to the Deep letting a guy drown over the chance of him getting killed by going in the water from the other fish. And the way he tiptoed out of the frame was hilarious. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how he always manages to like make me laugh in a way.
it's he's such an interesting watch because the Deep sucks, and I hate the Deep, and he's a terrible person. But Chase Crawford is a very good actor, and he's very talented, and he's very funny, and he pulls off the character in a way that I don't think many other people would be able to.
100%, bro. But I hope he dies next episode.
I hope so too.
So, like I mentioned before, the boys minus Kimiko and Frenchie are going to try and kidnap Oh Father. So they're going to go to Vought Studios because thanks to Emma, finds out that's where he's at. So they're all dressed up as PAs except for Butcher, of course. Trying to do this undercover at Vought Studios is insanely risky, in my opinion. And honestly, this goes exactly as it should have. Y'all should have gotten napped as early as you did. But what's crazy is the only reason and Starlight didn't get napped, weed pens.
Yeah, that's an interesting writing decision. Yeah, I guess smoking weed prevents the psychics from getting into your head, which is an interesting theory.
Yeah, like, that's how weed works for everyone. It numbs your brain, so psychics can't read your brain. That's why it works. And especially, if you're in a high risk stress situation, like an armed kidnapping of a superpowered celebrity in the middle of a religious indoctrination, like, yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Numb your brain. Also,
Sure.
give Huey and Butcher a pen too, then.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's just the antidote for psychics, right? You just take that and you don't get affected by them. They have no more powers anymore.
Yep. And since they got napped, we get introduced to a new psychic in the show. His name is Synapse. And what's crazy is not only is he able to make them pass out, he can like shapeshift too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like what they were doing with this psychic with Synapse. The shape shifting into different people was a very nice touch.
Yeah, dude. And this actually leads to a revelation that Homelander is tasking psychics with reading people's minds to see if they are true Homelander believers. Kind of like how Ashley did to the president. And this is just the start of it, man. Like, who knows how far this could go.
Yeah, I mean, if Homelander builds an army of people that can read people's minds and figure out whether or not they're true believers, like, it's essentially that he can read minds now, and he can just kill anyone that doesn't believe him.
Yeah, because it's not like well, actually, I don't know. I mean, is Homelander's mind really that strong to where he can't get like mind switched like Huey or Butcher can? Because it doesn't really seem like Homelander has a strong mind. I feel like one of them should just be like, you know what? I'm gonna mind control you and just make it kill yourself.
Yeah, I guess they probably could do that. I mean, Homelander's strength is physical strength. It's not mental strength. So yeah, he's not super capable up there. So you would assume that at least one of them would be able to do that.
Yeah, maybe Worm wrote this episode. So while Huey and Butcher are locked up, and Starlight, since they're able to work their way around the psychics, they find a bunch of people who are there for a VIP experience, and they're actually there to be mind read by the psychics while they're watching an unfinished commercial for Homelander announcing himself as God Emperor Homelander and being the one passed the torch from Jesus. This is what will determine whether these people are going to live or not. I mean, at least Father asked Homelander, like, hey, can we try to convert these guys before we just let Dognot and She-Line rip them apart one by one? Obviously, the answer was no, but at least he asked.
Yeah, it seems like there's like a little hint left of Father that's like kind of wanting to save the people and not just go full on Homelander on them. But if you're going to be on Homelander's side, you have to do what he says.
Yep, he's one brutal guy. But dude, this is just madness. And what's crazy is like their early reactions actually seemed more positive than I anticipated. And this made Starlight want to just give up on saving them entirely because they don't think she's a good person anyway because they're falling for the propaganda, which is crazy to me. But also this makes seemingly revert back to the that we've been accustomed to throughout this whole show. The one who actually gives insightful stories of his past that are also pieces of wisdom for the person listening to the story. while also revealing behind all that toughness and being a badass is a man with a heart, a history, something to fight for. Like, we should have gotten this after they got out of the prison camp, not now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least we got it better late than never, you know? Annie definitely needed to hear this. But yeah, I mean, this is the that I've been wanting for the last like 3 or 4 episodes. This is the that I know and love, you know? It was a great story. I loved hearing him talking about saving that bird, and then the other kids in the neighborhood like making fun of him for it, but he embraces the nickname because like he wants to save people and he wants to protect people. Like, I thought that was great. That was a great speech. And I'm glad that Annie got to hear it, because just a couple episodes we had her and her dad hashing things out and kind of giving her hope again, and that kind of didn't last very long. So hopefully this will give hopefully giving this speech will get Annie back on track, you know?
Yeah, I hope so. And him and Starlight really kicked Dog Knots and She-Line's ass, but only after they started killing people.
Yeah, there were some pretty brutal deaths here.
Yeah, but luckily they saved most of the people there, and they're going to be protected by Marie and Jordan, so that's pretty cool. But man, this better not be the last time we see them.
I really hope it's not, dude. I think it's a little bit promising, because Marie and Jordan walk out of the house and ask what they want, and Annie says like, we're asking for your help. So like she's like actually like acknowledging that she needs them. Hopefully it's not just to stash these new Starlighters and like protect them. Hopefully it's to actually get in a physical fight. But I really like that they never directly mention Jordan and Marie's romance or what their relationship status is like. But we see that Jordan and Marie are living together in this house. If you watch Gen V, that would probably be good for us to see them still working out, you know?
Yeah, definitely, because they definitely had a bit of will they, won't they?
Yeah. But I've really enjoyed the relationship and following along with it.
Same. So while and Starlight get those people out, Butcher and Huey, they're still locked up at Vought Studios. This whole interrogation sequence is really interesting because, like we mentioned, the shapeshifter can turn into Kessler, and because he can turn into Kessler, he goes on a monologue to kind of torture Butcher on the surface and kind of reveal some stuff to Huey, but also at the same time, underneath all that, actually getting critical information like their headquarters location and endgame plans, which then that information makes its way to Homelander, unfortunately. So now he knows the boys' plans. Great, but he didn't need to know it. He already knew it.
Yeah. I mean, he had his chance. If they were right there, he could have killed him then. But yeah, I think it does make sense that since the psychic can get in Butcher's head, he knows what Butcher's thinking, and so he knows about like the plan and everything that's going on there. And it was cool seeing Joe Kessler come back. I thought that was a good scene and some good character building for Butcher and showing like the brutality side of him that we've seen many times before.
Yeah, definitely. But when the psychic comes back from passing along the information, the boys use a classic tool of survival to escape, that being plot armor, to get out of this situation, with Huey distracting Synapse with his own tragic backstory that he just happens to know, just long enough for Butcher to break out completely silently still and get behind Synapse and kill him.
I'm gonna enjoy this one gun.
Yep. I guess so. I guess that makes sense.
And also, at the beginning of the interrogation thing, before Synapse even got in there, what did Butcher say?
Synapse napped his powers. Couldn't do anything about it. He already tried it.
So,
you know, I don't know, man. Maybe there's something about like when Synapse gets distracted by Huey and like starts talking to him, and then he like gets out of Butcher's head. But I mean, his powers come back very quickly, and like you said, yeah, he must have like equipped Dead Silence or something, because those were some thick handcuffs, and I didn't hear a peep.
no, but you know what? They escaped. They got out. So very good. Very good. But before Homelander leaves for the boys' location that he's already been to before, we catch up with him and Soldier Boy, because Homelander reveals his plans for his future with Soldier Boy. They're gonna be, the dynamic duo for the rest of time. But Soldier Boy announces that he's done with everything Vought, anything Homelander related, and says, "You're no god either. And if this is what makes you God, then I'm God every night, baby." So Homelander chokes out Soldier Boy and knocks him out and puts him back in his cryo chamber.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Super simple, just like that. Doesn't even have to get his hands dirty. Took a couple seconds. I guess that maybe he didn't turn on his nuclear blast from his chest. I guess he hadn't charged it up. He needed to plug it in first. But yeah, this was a very interesting way to take out Soldier Boy. And I don't know what I hope. I don't know what I want to happen next episode. I don't know if I want Soldier Boy to come back, but if he doesn't come back and they were just building up this character for like 5 episodes just to put him back in his chamber, that would be a little disappointing. But also I want other characters to be able to get their screen time.
Yeah, it also would be the third time that we see his character is sleeping in a chamber at the end of the season. It'd be the third time in a row.
Yeah, they've done that the last 2 seasons, right? 3 and 4.
Yeah, but the way some characters just do not fight back while being physically compromised this season is insane to me.
Yeah, some of the fighting mechanics have been very interesting. Even that fight with like Soldier Boy and Bombsight didn't really have much but like throwing fists, and like they flew to a different location at one point, but then that was kind of it. They were basically just throwing hands.
Yeah, literally. So after Homelander puts Soldier Boy back to sleep, he heads over to the boys' HQ, where Frenchie and Sage are doing the first 100% correct dosage of radiation built on the back of Frenchie's previous test that he did with Kimiko as well. And this one almost kills her, but she says to keep going, which kind of reminded me of when Cap said to keep going when he was screaming in pain from receiving the serum.
Turn it off! Kill it! Kill the reactors! No! Don't! I can do this!
Yeah, totally. That was a similar vibe for sure. It was a good reference. They're basically turning her into a super soldier boy. Is what they're turning her into.
Yeah, man. And hopefully she can take down Homelander because she's going to have reason to. Let me get into it. So as they finish the test, Kimiko's very, very weak. And Homelander arrives on the radar, and Frenchie decides to hide Sage and Kimiko inside a zinc air duct because Homelander can't see through zinc. But there's not enough room for Frenchie to fit in. So he tries to find somewhere else to hide, but in the end chooses to sacrifice himself to assure that Homelander, that it was just him in the building, that no one else was there. And man, Frenchie went out a hero, man. He went out a goat. And I love that he stuck it to Homelander with basically no fear in his eyes.
Yeah, man. It was very, very great final moments for Frenchie. Just really being the hero of this episode, sacrificing himself for the greater good for Sage and Kimiko, because those are going to be 2 of the more important characters for the finale. And if he doesn't do that, then it's a very different situation going into the last episode. But yeah, he absolutely went out a hero. He stuck it to Homelander. I love the line, look at you. I bet you never danced a day in your life. Just, that was beautiful, man. Homelander has never felt joy. He's so power hungry because of how desperate he is and how vulnerable he is, that he just needs as much power as he can possibly get, and still it will not be enough because he has never felt joy in his life. Unlike Frenchie, unlike Kimiko, it was an extremely tragic way for him to go out, but it was a heroic ending for his character.
100%. And when Kimiko was saying how thankful she was for everything that Frenchie had done for her, and now Frenchie said, no, you saved me, not the other way around. I didn't save you. Man, I was crying. R.I.P. Frenchie.
Yeah, man, it was just beautifully done. I love that Frenchie and Kimiko got to have the last conversation there after Frenchie helping Kimiko all this time, trying to help her process her trauma and get her to communicate again. For him to be the first one that she speaks up for at the ending of season 4 when she's screaming out no. That was one of the best endings to a season, I think. And then for them to have that last conversation was really beautiful. And yeah, he had his redemption arc. He became more human and he found love again. And he sacrificed himself for that love.
Yeah, man.
Kimiko is going to be absolutely unhinged next episode, and I can't wait to see it. But I'm really glad that they got to have this last moment together. I mean, the first thing that Frenchie says to her when he sees her is, "Are you okay?" He cares about her so much, and he did this to save her, and he wants to protect her. And the ending of it is heartbreaking. It was a hectic episode. There was a lot going on. There were a lot of fights, and this last scene was just complete silence, no background noise. All you hear is Kimiko sobbing, and everyone else just staring on in shock. Heartbreaking, but beautiful at the same time. And then the song that plays in the credits is the same song that Kimiko hears in episode 1 of season 3 and start singing along to when that stranger was playing the piano in the house, Dream a Little Dream of Me. To bring that back for this final scene of Frenchie was, I think, very, very great storytelling.
Yeah, man. Very, very emotional. And I also have another thing. If Starlight hadn't told Marie Moreau to fuck off earlier in the episode, she could have been there to save Frenchie.
Yeah, we have literally seen Marie save people's lives, stop people from dying, and just straight up bring them back to life. But, she got pushed to the side. Annie didn't want her help, but she needed it.
I'm very annoyed by that. But I understand you have to have stakes in the story. Not everyone's vegan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they always say. I hear that phrase all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, the stakes are absolutely going up.
They're overcooked at this point.
They are overcooked. They're well done for sure. This sort of in a way feels like the start to the finale episode, because the finale episode is going to be extremely hectic. We are going to lose people. People are going to die. Some of the boys are going to die. And this is just the catalyst for that event. And everything is going to go downhill from here.
Yeah, man. So I have one question and I have one theory for the finale. Here's my question.
Ryan? Ryan?
I don't think the writers know where Ryan is, bro. The way that they have handled his character, him and Marie, the two biggest fumbles of this entire franchise. They're setting these two characters up to be essentially the last-ditch effort for the boys, the only ones that can really stand up to Homelander in any way, and they're just gone. They're just off screen. We haven't seen Ryan for like 2-3 episodes maybe after he ran away. Nobody knows where he is. I don't know if he's out training, healing, trying to just like, I would be shocked and appalled if he does not show up in the finale. We need him to show back up. Probably going to be for that final fight. But yeah, I really wish that we had more of him on screen this season.
Yeah, think about it. Back in season 2, at the finale, Stormfront was choking out Becca. Little kid Ryan, he chopped her up and basically killed her. As a little kid, and she had V1. Remember that, she had V1. Where is he?
I don't know, man. He's had years to develop his powers and become the soup that he can become, and he's just gone. He's gone now. I guess I can understand like him going away after getting his ass kicked by Homelander, but he better come back swinging. He has to.
Yeah, man. So, since everything is kind of focusing on Vought Rising now and those storylines, I have a theory, and this is either dumb or I'm cooking. What if Sage, as a last-ditch effort for everything, finds a way to send a message back in time during Vought Rising, and that message causes events to prevent Soldier Boy from giving his likeness to Vought that'll end up being given Compound V to create Homelander?
Yeah, I don't hate that idea, man. I think that's actually a possibility. Like, it seems like something that Sage would be capable of. Maybe not the last 2 episodes Sage, but the previous Sage that from the start of the season would be able to do that maybe. And I think it would create more of a connection between Vought Rising and the boys, because Vought Rising is a prequel show, so we're not going to be seeing like really any of the characters that we've gotten to know and love over these years besides Soldier Boy. So yeah, I think that would be a cool way to like make it more connected.
Yeah, but hey, we get more Bomb Sight and Golden Geisha.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, man, I'm still very confused at why they were building Bomb Sight up that much for him to have like 5 minutes of screen time, and then they don't mention him after that.
He literally runs out of the story. He said,
Yeah.
I cannot run faster out of this storyline.
Yeah, man. Jeez.
So, guys, let us know your theories on what the finale is going to be, because this episode has literally thrown me through a loop. I'm the guy drowning in the ocean that the deep didn't save right now. Like, that's how much of a loop I'm in right now. I can't swim. I'm disoriented. I don't know what's going on. And everyone is saying, help him. He needs help. Because I do. and no one is coming to save me.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, the boys' writers will make a different decision than the Deep and not just try to shuffle out of frame. And hopefully, they actually dive in and try to save us. That would be lovely. I'd really appreciate that.
Me too, man. So yeah, let us know your theories, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. While this was a frustrating episode, it's been a really fun season. A lot of really awesome moments and good storylines that we have had. So we are really thankful for that. And we are really excited for the finale. And we're going to be releasing the Punisher special presentation soon as well, along with Spider Noir stuff coming out and more stuff coming out. It's going to be great, guys. I am more Major League Baseball content as well. We're going to be breaking down a lot more of that stuff too. So if you like that stuff, stay tuned for future content, as well as check out our previous stuff as well, because we've had a lot of interesting conversations. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been this episode of the Sci-Fi Zone, where the multiverse meets a 7th inning stretch, and we hope to see you on the next one. Peace.